my darling Fumi Nation, welcome, happy Monday. How you all doing? Let me give you a couple of announcements. A lot of you have been sending messages to me saying, Fumi, we want you to review The Real Housewives of Lagos. I shall. You want me to review The Real Housewives of Johannesburg? I shall. Let me know if you want me to do reviews on certain shows. Not a problem for me. I will watch them and I will review them. I also know that Real Housewives of Atlanta is coming back on the 1st of May. And yes, I shall be reviewing. Portia won't be there, so I won't be able to ask her about, is she able to fry the plantains? But we will find out what is going on. It has been reshook. The good news here is that Marlo is now a peach. Yes, she's earned that peach. So she's going to be a main staple now that Portia is no longer there. And also, my darlings, Cynthia Bailey is no longer back with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So let me know, darlings. It is such a treat for me. You don't even know. But today's episode is about Will Smith. This is the last episode I'm going to cover with Will Smith unless he slaps somebody else. But we all now know that he has been banned from the Academy. That means that he cannot be invited, but he very much can be nominated. So I'm going to tell you what this means really for Will Smith. This is a death sentence. He has been banned for 10 years. And that means that as much as he can be nominated, what it really means is that nobody is going to be associated with him. If they want their film to be nominated, to get all of the praise, to get all of the accolades, they cannot. These are producers, directors, writers. At this stage right now, with the unforeseen future, cannot afford to put Will in their film. All right, I'm going to break it down for those of you that still say, I don't understand. If these producers, directors, writers associate themselves with Will going forward, it means that they are also co-signing his bad behavior that he presented at the Academy Awards. Do you understand? Now, he's been banned for 10 years. Will is 53. That means until he's 63. So where he can still be the main character, he's that box office gold right now, right up until 58, 59-ish. 63, you're going to start doing the grandpa roles. You're going to start doing the father roles. And in 10 years, as we all know, things can change. That new hot guy comes front and center, and that's it. It's a death sentence for him. Now, he resigned from the Academy. That doesn't mean anything. His people told him to. He basically jumped before they pushed him off the cliff in order to somehow salvage his reputation, in the sense that perhaps the Academy would have said, okay, what other way can we give him some kind of punishment? But to be banned means that it doesn't matter whether you don't want to come or not. You're not invited back. You're not coming back. And for the Academy, it is huge. It is your graduation. And it is from there now that you go on to go to any university. Will can't. He will never be able to get any letter to say, come to our university. He's been blacklisted. That's what this means. The sad part of it all is I saw a comment where Jada said, I don't need taken care of. Jada, shut up. You've done enough damage as it is. When he ran up there, I understand how you might have not seen or foreseen what he might have done. You were laughing when he slapped him. There's a video out there that shows it so. He came back and he profanitized twice. You did not nudge him and say, don't do that. Stop. A lot of girls said, oh, I love that kind of love. My man to behave like that. That means he really loved me. If Ula behaved like that, I promise you here and now, there will be words. There would be words. I don't want a man to protect me like that. That's hood rat behavior. You know, there are some women there where they really feel like they're being loved when they're being beaten by their man. It's that kind of sickness, that kind of psychological breakdown where they don't understand that this is bad behavior because that's all they know. I'm telling you here and now, it doesn't mean that your man loves you, that he's supporting you, standing up for you. He's showing that the two of you don't belong where you are at. Yeah, 110%. So, Will now have to go on a sorry tour. Yep, starting with the Red Table Talk. I'm under the impression because that is their little business, which they're going to have to salvage for right now. A lot of his projects have been stalled. Apple said, oh, wait 1 minute. His agency, CAA, said, we don't know if we want to continue representing you, because translation, it's money. That's how they get their commissions. You get the job, we get the commission, everybody's happy. You don't get the job, we don't get commission, why are you still here? We can give that seat to somebody else. Come back in 10 years, Will. And CAA, Creative Artists Agency, is one of the top agencies ever. I'm proud to say, yes, moi. I was with CAA for voiceovers. It wasn't bad. I made my coin. CAA is the top. And Will was one of the top talents up in there. For them to come on out and say, we're not sure if we can still represent Will after all of these years. I will always say it. I said it in my first video. Will was wrong. Will was wrong. Will was wrong. I said it in my video yesterday about Cardi. It is the way you respond because you are the celebrity. People will forget what the other person said or did, but they will forever remember how you reacted. That's just it. The Will slap, you were slapped unwillingly. I said it the other day, these are the jokes and stuff like that will go on. He needs now to go on an apology tour and apologize. In the black community, not so much. Nobody really cares. Will is not cancelled. But in the grand scheme of things, it has affected his career. It's so ironic. He got to the highest pinnacle. Isn't that life though? Sometimes he got to the highest pinnacle and that's all you're going to get. We have to see what is going to happen. But a lot of people have come out in support of Chris Rock. Chris Rock said he's not talking unless he gets paid. Hell yes, 110%. And D.L. Hughley came out in his defense.
I have participated in this, so I know it to be true. There has been a lot of attention given to Will's mindset that night. The night that there's a lot of attention given to what it must have driven him to this, how he got to this, what he must have been thinking, what was the tipping point, and it's been pretty consistent across the board. I think the one thing that we know for sure is that perspective has been delved into. What I haven't, and I'm sorry about this, given as much attention to, is how Chris must be feeling. Chris is 57, I'm 58, Will is 53. We are all eligible for the early bird special, and an almost 60-year-old man got slapped in front of the world. The world. Everybody saw it. Slapped in front of the world. He'd avoided getting slapped growing up in Brooklyn. He'd avoided getting slapped on the many stages he's been on, but he could not avoid the Oscars. And that makes me sad. And it makes me sad that I've spent time in this chair myself lamenting what Will must have gone through and very little thought as to what Chris must be going through. And the fact that Chris hasn't to date released a statement lets me know that he is dealing with this in some kind of way. There's no doubt that Will has had a level of recrimination. He's been derided, but there also was an outpouring in love and support. He had actors come to his aid after it was over and wipe his tears away. He got to sit down. He got to enjoy the show. He got to laugh at other jokes. He got to get an award that he's been longing for his entire career. He got to be celebrated. He got a standing ovation. He got to go to the after parties and get jiggy with it. And then he got to go home and write an apology. I don't begrudge him that. But I tell you this. I don't think the offense was worth a lifetime of this. Chris Rock will forever be the man who got slapped at the Oscars. Forever. And I don't think the offense matches the punishment. I do not at all. But it has happened. And it will be indelible. We will forget what he said, but never that he got slapped. There may well be a cure for alopecia, but we'll still remember this. We're going to always remember it. And people can say, well, people are going to see his concerts. Do you know that if his concerts were $45 and going okay, and they go to $700 and going through the roof, that tells you that most of those people are not there to support him. I'm not saying that none of them are, but most of them are coming for the spectacle. He cannot get on stage for the foreseeable future and not relive the fact that he was slapped in front of the world. And that makes me sad. A man who's almost 60 years old got slapped by another black man in front of the world, and the fact that I sat in this chair and didn't fathom what that could be like. I didn't put myself in his head, and I didn't give enough deference to that, and I'm very sorry for that. Chris Rock has children who had to see their father get slapped. He has relatives. He has a brother who saw that. And while you can be compassionate about Will must have gone through, I can at least hold in my heart the fact that Chris Rock was affected that way too. There's something happened to him too. The Oscars that night, there was an outpouring of love. They did everything but soak Will's hand and ask if he needs some ice. Everything. It was clear while Chris Rock walked alone and stood there and was professional. And some people could call it professional. Some people are calling it cowardly, which I don't agree with. I wonder if he's going through what most of us would have been going through. Did I do the right thing? I should have done this. How come I did this and what happened? I am sorry that I didn't give enough deference to that. I'm sorry that I didn't say I'm sorry earlier. I'm sorry for what your children must be going through. I'm sorry for what must be in your head. I'm sorry that it seemed to me that you were alone. I am sorry that at almost 60 years old you were slapped in front of the world. I apologize to that. I can hold in my heart a level of compassion and grace for what Will must have gone through, and I am sorry that I didn't give equal measures to you. I'm very sorry that happened. And I'm even sorrier that I wasn't sorry soon enough.
And there have been so many snippets about Will Smith's marriage to Jada, and how Jada didn't want to get married, and how she didn't want to have a baby, and how her mother pressed her into having a marriage, having a wedding, and she was so sick with her first trimester. One thing I will tell you is this: you never know what's going on between a man and a woman behind closed doors. You don't know that marriage. You don't know that marriage. So I cannot sit here and say, oh, perhaps Will divorce Jada. They put their business out there does not really mean that it's impacted their marriage. No, they can put their marriage business out there. It has nothing to do with impacting their marriage. For all we know, this might make them stronger. You never know what is going on between a man and a wife. That goes for relatives, that goes for friends, that goes for besties. You never know. So as far as I'm concerned, it is what it is. The two parties will have to make the best of their lives going forward. Right now, Will has to lie low for a hot minute and then come on out and start with his apology tour and acknowledge what he did. Under any circumstances, you don't put, as they say, your paws on nobody. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. That can, as Bill Hoogley mentioned, you forget that's a man, that's a father, and the children were watching. It's traumatizing, and it's traumatizing for them. To be honest, I don't like watching it either. You know, I'm just kind of sort of over it. So this is what it means for Will. It has damaged his career heavily. Heavily. And if Will could take that back, that night back, he would. Because it has cost him in his pockets. I think Bad Boys stalled. A lot of his projects have been stalled. Because you roll with Will right now, you're guilty by association. Bottom line, it is like me coming to say I want to review Ofra products as well. Ofra, the last time I checked, is cancelled. And I have to stand with my own people. I can't put myself out on the line there and then in the process get me cancelled. These producers, directors, they want their films to do well. And the Academy will be good in that, in pushing those films. Accolade is accolade, no matter what. Harvard is Harvard. Yes. And they want to push their films. And if they want those films out there, they can't afford right now, in the foreseeable future, put Will in that cast, because it will damage the film for now. So it's a big deal. For those out there saying it doesn't mean anything, you're not an actor. If you're an actor, then you would know what this means. Right across the board, it has affected his coin. And this is the biggest punishment. On top of course, you understand me, the smear campaign that he put upon himself, all by himself. You know, and like he said that night, you can't take nobody from, you know, Philly and Baltimore, nowhere. That's not true. You can't. You just have to behave right. All right, darlings, get ready. Coming in for the reality shows. Do we love, darlings? Do we love? Do we love the beat? A light pink little something, something. And Ula shirt. Couldn't find anything to wear. Just one of those days, you know. Mwah. Love you.